For every city, no matter how big or small, there's been so many residents that have individually made such an impact on the city, creating an encyclopedia of memories. Now, my family tradition, now it's not something that happens on a scheduled basis, but it's something that happens regularly, is when my parents take the opportunity to tell us about their childhood and what they did as children that have, brought them to where they are today. My dad, he was raised in Orange County, specifically Santa Ana and Orange, California. And for those of you from that area, it's an area with such a rich culture. My mom, she's from just a city over, Villa Park, California. And these two have had interesting childhoods. My dad has told me about stories of when he lived right along the Santa Ana River, which is a kind of big river, not anything too big. And he's told me stories of, when he lived there and his house had been swept away by a flood in the river, and stories like that, even just little stories and anecdotes of what he did with his friends as kids, and even stories about how he met my mom. My mom and dad, living a city apart, had some mutual friends, and they met when my mom was still in high school. My dad did accompany my mom to her high school prom, so they are high school sweethearts, which is something that was really interesting and motivational to me, showing me that, love can endure a lot of things. And I love hearing stories like this just because they bring me a new light, new perspective, something you don't always see every day, especially with people our age who don't have the experience. And the one thing I think is most important about hearing from your parents is learning from their experiences. And a lot of us, I know, are first-generation college students, just like myself, and a lot of us are learning, maybe why our parents wanted us to go to college when they didn't, and learning from my parents, like, what they did and why they think it's so important because of some of the failures they've had. And I reach out to you guys, and I ask you guys to ask your parents or whoever raised you a little bit about themselves so you can learn from their experiences instead of your own mistakes.